Why, hello there, ladies. As you all know, this Saturday is Valentine's Day, the sexiest day of the year, and I'm just standing here wearing my anime swag, as you can tell, looking sexy as ever, waiting for that special someone to make my evening. I'll be waiting. Wow, I cannot believe I did that as an opening to a video. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush and pretend like that was actually a good opening. It is either the worst opening I've ever done, or without a doubt, the most awkwardly creepy opening I've ever done. I leave that for you guys to decide. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy with a new anime review for Romance Month. And that review is on the anime Gata H Kei, also referred to here in America as Yamada's First Time. Now the anime Gata H Kei follows this very pretty but shallow and conceited high school girl by the name of Yamada, who's a virgin whose main goal in the entire anime is to try and have sex with 100 high school guys. Yes, you heard me right. And one day while walking in a random bookstore, she just happened to bump into this very average guy by the name of Hosoda, and she decides to make him the first of many guys that she has sex with. And throughout the entire anime, it's basically her trying to get into Hosoda's pants. That's the premise. Now, I've heard about this anime for quite some time now. Not as Gata H Kei, but as Yamada's First Time. And when I first heard the concept to this anime, I'm not gonna deny it, guys, I found it very unique and intriguing. I mean, to have the main character of this anime be a girl who's attempting to have sex with 100 high school guys, that makes it vastly different when compared to other romantic comedy animes where it's focused on one guy or one girl that are trying to hook up with each other. In this one, you got one girl who's trying to hook up with 100 different high school guys. The comedic possibilities in this anime are endless. There are so many different routes, so many different things, so many different elements that they could have done here in this anime, and I was so intrigued to see what direction this anime was going to take. Little did I know, though, that this anime was a fucking bait and switch, and it actually turned out to be just another run-of-the-mill, standard, cliche rom-com animes that we have seen plenty of times before. I mean, guys, this is the quintessential definition of a wasted opportunity. I mean, my god, they had a golden ticket and they squandered it. And instead of getting a unique and creative gem of an anime, we got an average, uninspired rom-com. But that's not to say that this anime doesn't have any good elements to it. Like the animation, which was done by a studio called How Filmmaker. I've never heard of them in my entire life, and from what I saw when looking them up, they haven't worked on any significant animes worth mentioning besides Princess Tutu, but I'm not gonna count that. But the animation in the anime was solid and the character designs were really good. The animation in the opening theme in particular having the best animation in the entire anime. And then you got the voice acting. Now luckily this anime is available in both English dub and Japanese sub. I personally went with the English dub considering that it was made by Funimation, and you all know how I feel about Funimation, so don't need to go into that. But I thought the voice work done in this anime was pretty solid. Not the best, but also not the worst. There were a couple of funny moments scattered throughout the entire anime that did make me laugh. I especially laughed whenever I would see this character named Keiichi whenever he would interact with various characters. Always found them hilarious. And speaking of the characters, a majority of the secondary characters in this anime were a whole lot of fun to watch, entertaining throughout, and some of them were actually very interesting, more so than our main characters. And the one character that I'm referring to here is actually Yamada's best friend, Takeshi. She is without a doubt the most unique and interesting character in this entire anime, given the fact that she does not fall in love with whatever the fuck that guy's name, Hosoda, Blandy McBland, whatever his name is. She never falls in love with him. Not only that, but she also has a boyfriend in the anime. That's right, she has a boyfriend in the anime and she is madly in love with him. I really love that an anime finally addresses that there are other guys for these girls to hook up with, and they actually did it here in this anime. Props to you there. But not only is she very unique, but she's also very interesting. Her personality really stood out in the anime, and for what it's worth, she did feel like a true friend to Yamada, even though she was just kind of putting up with her shit. But I did feel like she did sort of care for Yamada now and again. And although I'm not a huge fan of this next character, especially later on in the anime, I still want to give props to Yamada for her semi-uniqueness in the fact that she is very outspoken about wanting to have sex with 100 high school guys and her sexuality. You don't see that a lot in romantic comedy animes, so I give her props for that unique quality. And the last character I'll talk about, and one that I personally enjoyed in the anime, was this character. I'm not quite sure what her name is. I think it's Misato, but I just call her Flat Chest McGee. But she was just overall entertaining, always energetic, and she kept the liveliness in the anime going. But even with all those good elements, it could not disguise the ugliness of all the problems with this anime. Now, I already briefly mentioned the biggest issue with this anime earlier in the review, but just to reiterate, this anime was a huge bait and switch and a waste of potential. They lure you in with the promise of comedic gold and potential with an interesting premise of a girl trying to have sex with 100 different high school guys, but ends up smacking you in the face with a cloud of clichéness. And I'm not shitting you. I am not shitting you. From comedic misunderstanding to a very naive and oblivious main character, tsunderes, love triangles, harems, they're all in here. And they even have some melodramatic moments in a show about a girl trying to have sex with 100 different guys. You found it necessary to put melodrama in it? And as I said before, and as I'll say again, I don't have a problem with cliches as long as they're handled well. And that is not the case in this anime. Okay, I ranted enough about that issue. What are some of the other problems that plague this anime? Well, sadly, one of the other major issues with this anime is actually the two main characters, Yamada and Hosoda, Mr. Bland and Forgettable. These characters are just not likable. They're not interesting, and there's no real connection between them. I never once in this entire anime actually felt a genuine bond, a genuine connection with them. And this is supposed to be the main love story. Hell, Takeshi and her boyfriend had a stronger bond and connection than our two main characters. Why not just make Takeshi the main character then? Not only are they uninteresting as a couple, but also as individuals. Yamada just comes off as this arrogant bitch who is completely self-centered and doesn't give a fuck about any other person's feelings and just is horny all the freaking time. And I know that's the purpose of her character, but the whole point of making her the main character is that you're supposed to see her grow as a character and you're supposed to relate and connect to her. There was never a moment, not a single scene where I was like, yeah, I totally connect with Yamada. You know, we're down, we're cool, we're tight. Nope, never happened. I just really freaking hated her throughout the entire anime. There were moments of cuteness, but I don't count that. But even worse than Yamada is her love interest, Suda, aka Mr. Blandy McBland. And I truly mean that. You learn nothing about his character. There's nothing interesting about him whatsoever from appearance to personality. The only real thing you learn about him is that he's part of the photography club and he has a thing for Yamada. That's the closest development that you get for this character. Not only that, but he is without a doubt the most passive, irritating, and oblivious male lead I've seen in an anime in a long time. I mean, if you thought Keiichi from Oh My Goddess was very passive with Bell Dandy, holy shit. This guy is just painfully clueless throughout the entire anime. Like, you could make it abundantly clear what exactly you want. You can have him lying on your bed, you could be completely naked on top of him with his pants off, and he would be like, "Hey, what's going on here? What do you want me to do? Are you fucking kidding me?" This guy annoyed the shit out of me more than any other character in this anime, and he would just continuously piss me off as the anime went along. And I don't understand what people find so appealing about Hosoda. There's nothing interesting about the guy. Nothing at all. And I don't understand why Yamada puts up with this fucking shit. I mean, I would have been done with them after the first episode. I'm like, well, move on to the next guy. That was my first bad experience. Let's move on to the second. Nope. We're stuck with him throughout the entire anime. Another character that was completely pointless and unnecessary and very annoying was Yamada's Eros deity. This character added nothing new to the anime. Nothing new in a comedic sense, nothing new in a character sense. If you were to take out this character, it wouldn't make a big difference because none of the other characters even see this character. This character more or less is acting as the narrator reacting to the situation, but it's an unnecessary narrator. We don't need this character in the show. It just felt like padding. And the last issue with this anime is the internal monologues in many of the episodes, particularly the last 2 episodes. They would not shut the fuck up, and it got really daunting and annoying. I was sitting there thinking to myself, is this commentary really necessary, or could the scene just speak for itself? And each and every time I came up with, the scene could speak for itself. We don't need this narration. We don't need this inner monologue. It just feels completely pointless and annoying. Man, the more and more I think and talk about this anime, the more I begin to hate it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, as I was watching this anime, I was yelling constantly at my screen. I was just so angry and frustrated as to what I was watching. I was angry at the complete stupidity, obliviousness, and complete cluelessness of Hosoda. I was mad at the bitchiness and indecisiveness of Yamada and how these two just had no real connection, no bond. They were just completely bland and unrelatable as characters. How are we supposed to follow these characters? How are we supposed to go on this journey and root for them if we feel no connection with them? I was angry at the plethora of cliches that were just being bombarded and thrown into the anime when it had such a unique and interesting concept to begin with, but instead of taking the risk and actually trying to tell this type of story, they take the cop-out, half-assed cliche way and just abandon the original concept. And this isn't a terrible anime, guys. It's not the worst anime ever made. It's just, on a romantic comedy standpoint, it is just extremely disappointing and a huge letdown, especially after hearing about this anime for so many years and so many people saying how awesome and great it is. To finally see it, and this is what we get, it is a huge letdown. And honestly, the only grade I could give Gata H Kei is a 2 out of 5 stars, and that's me being generous. It is an easily forgettable anime and one that I would not recommend anyone to watch. There are much better romance animes, much better rom-com animes out there that are worth your time. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you really enjoy it? Did you get a kick out of it? Or did you find it really disappointing and it really let you down and it pissed you off? And let me know, what is an anime that had a really interesting concept yet completely squandered it? Or an anime that pulled a bait and switch where they were promising you this one thing but ended up giving you this other thing? Comment below and let me know. But until then, guys, if you would like to see more videos here on the Black Critic Guy channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it, if you enjoyed my ranting, and like my Facebook fan page if you would like some updates on what's going to be coming down the line for Romance Month. And until the next video comes, guys, I'm 21 II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.